like to move around. Good afternoon, class of 2024. Good afternoon, educators, and good afternoon, parents. The honorable members need to be greeted first. So I'm Chandra Evans, and before I start with my story, I first want to, form some conversation over here. So I want you to tell me how old you think I am. It's giving 23. It's giving 24. 26. I can't wait to get home to tell my husband. Thank you so much. I can't wait to get home to tell my husband that you think I'm 23. So I'm Chandra Evans, I'm 37 years old. I've got 3 boys and I've been married to the love of my life for 30 years. Love still exists, eh? Love still exists. So life started for me when I was very young. And I'm going to start with where I'm at the moment. Right now, I have the privilege of owning a travel company where I take women around the world who travel and I get to experience all the beautiful places. Bali, all the nice places, Zanzibar, all the nice places I get to experience. And so prior to that, I had a clothing brand and my clothing company I had for 6 years. And it was absolutely amazing. I reached the ceiling in the business and I decided, you know what? Actually, after having my own store, being on TV, having 10 staff members at the time, and just, feeling like I've reached the ceiling, I've reached the success in that business. But let me track back and rewind to my childhood. So I come from Atlantis. I come from Ravensfield. My childhood, we always lived in a room in someone's home. I didn't know what it was like to firstly have my own room, and to secondly, just own a place that is ours. To the point where we once stayed in a place where we didn't even have a door. So we're in a room in people's house, and now it just has this little curtain in front, and that was for quite a while. I knew as I was growing up that I will not conform to my circumstances. And so life continued and I just always felt like I'm different. Couldn't understand why. Was never academic. Was never a high achiever. Hard worker, dedicated, but never the one in the class. You know the one that always gets the A's. They just do well without having to do the work. They just naturally, just doing it. I'm lying, they do the work. But nonetheless, so that was all I knew as a child. Fast forward to getting to where you are today and realizing, oh my goodness, what's going to happen now? We are in the age where anxiety is thrown around. That word is thrown around like it's just a little lingo we use when it comes with so much heaviness. Many of you that sitting here today might be excited, might be anxious. You might not know what's next. Finances might not allow you to go study next year. You don't know what's next. You hear that people study and then they don't get the job of their dreams or they don't get to live the life that they want to live. And so I'm standing in front of you today to tell you that it doesn't matter where you come from. And I'm going to fast forward a bit to when I got to the point where my mom and everybody, my family, everyone didn't know what next for me. Neither did I know myself. And I decided, you know what, I'm going to do something about it. I decided to walk to Northern College alone. I walked and I got all the forms, all the papers. It was extremely overwhelming because they just give you a whole lot of everything. And I said to myself, it doesn't matter whether I did not get the grades to get into university. It doesn't matter if I did not make it to the standards of what other people think. One thing I knew was that I am going to live my dream life. I'm 37 years old, and when I with getting up in the morning because it's a lovely routine, and now all of a sudden, what happens? You at home, the world continues, people go to work, and you, the grade 11s become grade 12s, some of your friends post all their pictures on the socials of their first day at college, of your first day at university, some people start jobs, some people travel, and you might really just not know what's next for you. I'm here to tell you that hard work, dedication, and commitment is what got me here today. So when I studied at Northfield, eventually got into the college, my mom was so overwhelmed because she was just concerned about how she's going to sign, where she's going to get the money to pay the student loan back, and all I knew was, I'm going to college. So I completed the form as I knew best, and asked her to actually sign it. She eventually did. And here I was going to college. Also now realizing that I actually need transport money also. I think bursaries today include transport and food allowance. But at that time it did not include it. In actual fact, it was not the bursary, it was a loan at that time. So all my mom is seeing is this amount, and all I'm thinking is when I'm done, I'm going to work and I'm going to pay it back. I worked so hard during those 2 years when I was at college that at the end, when I was done, I knew now, okay, now I'm done with this, what next? I then went and literally printed my CV and walked from restaurant to restaurant in Edward Street to find a waitressing job, because one thing I knew was that someone is going to see me somewhere and I'm going to serve someone and the person's going to give me an opportunity, but I was always just optimistic that this was not the life I was going to live. I knew from the bottom of my heart that I was going to live my dream life. And so life continued. I then needed a form for one of the jobs I applied for, one of the waitressing jobs. And I had to go back to college. And when I got to college, they said, I was looking for you, I could not find you. We've been phoning you because you are part of the top 5 students that we are giving an internship to. Now, when I tell you I'm not an A student, I mean that. And I'm not saying this because I want you to feel better, but or if I want, or for any other reason, but I'm saying this because we think that we have to be this super high achiever to be able to work hard. We think that we need to, be, if someone else is on that level, we need to compare to them, when it's not like that. Everybody has their own journey, as long as you work hard and you give your absolute best. So also me trying to figure out how I got into the top 5 and realizing, you know what, actually I'm not going to figure this out, because one thing I knew was I was willing and I was always available and able. And I think those are the characteristics and those are the fruits that you carry into your adulthood. Those are the things that people will remember about you. And so I started at Northfield, and when I started at Northfield, I was an intern, I became a receptionist, I became an administrator, I then became permanent, and then I became an executive personal assistant, and eventually reaching the point where, and I moved to Sanlam, started working at Sanlam, events, and all these positions, until my dream kept nudging me and kept pulling me. And my dream was to step out, to take a risk on myself. We live in a generation where we have so many things at our fingertips. Things are accessible. I'm not talking about forex trading, please. I'm talking about things being accessible to the point where you can make things with your hand. You can provide a service. You can truly make your dream job happen. And when I started my previous company, not in my wildest thoughts did I think that I would be able to do it for 6 years, to be able to put food on 10 people's table. Never in my wildest dreams did I think we'd end up in Glamour magazine or an Espresso show. Never in my wildest dreams, because one thing that I thought when I was growing up, and I knew when I was growing up, was that I am different. I never knew my difference would be something that will actually motivate and inspire me blessings. And so life continued, and I eventually, like I said, gave up the business and decided to embark on something totally new. An industry that is not really known for people of our color, that is not really known for people, to thrive into. If you're a sole proprietor, and I just decided I'm going to take a risk on myself. I'm here today to tell you that it's possible. I'm here today to tell you that if you have even just a little bit of hope for your future, that it is possible. I love what the principal said when he said that you have built resilience. I think that is the biggest attribute to your entire life that your schooling journey could have given you. I mean, we survived the whole pandemic. You guys are actually the chosen ones, because to survive a pandemic, for 12 years, cold, rain, shine, heavy school bag, everything, to still be sitting here. Well done. You did it. You should be so proud of yourself. It is the very last stage. And you have a room full of people supporting you. A room full of people having your back. They believe and they have faith that all of you are going to succeed. I am beyond excited to watch the matric results. I am beyond excited to see 100% pass rate for downtown. Can we celebrate it? I'm going to leave you with these wise words, and it is actually exactly as the MC said earlier. It doesn't matter how you start, it matters how you finish. Thank you so much, Joseph.